My name's Tiger. I've lived on 3 different continents and I want to give you some travel advice. Stay tuned. All right, hello. So I have a lot of different places for you to visit, but you're at this video because you want to visit England. So I used to live in England. It was a very jolly old time, and I used to live in the London area specifically. So England is let me not say very, but England is a small country. So it's quite easy to travel around to different cities and see the country in its totality. But this video specifically is about London, how to travel around London, where to go, what to do, and all of that good stuff here. So, public transportation. It can get a little pricey, but it is very effective, very efficient, and there's multiple types of public transportation. So you're not only stuck taking the bus, you also have the train, you also have the underground, like the tube. You have different options for yourself. So public transportation is a great option. I personally also recommend public transportation because even though it can get pricey, it's the most effective way to get places, especially multiple places in one go. So for London, if you want to go to multiple areas or neighborhoods in one day, because the country's size, you're able to do that. However, public transportation makes it more effective because depending on the neighborhood you want to go to, that would depend on the trains you take. So for example, here's a map of the London Tube system. Something else great about the London Tube system is, as you can see, there are multiple neighborhoods sometimes on one line or just a quick transfer. Transfer stations typically tend to be the bigger stations, right? So like Victoria Station is a big transfer station because so many different train lines come through there, but it's also very easy to get to the Buckingham Palace, right? If you take public transportation, go to Victoria Station, you'll also be able to see different types of shows that were on Broadway that are, traveling Broadway shows. You'll be able to go to Buckingham Palace. You'll be able to go to the gorgeous park around the area. There's so many things to do there, right? King's Court is another very popular station that has a lot of transfer points. Once again, same thing. There's a lot of different places you can go to in the area. So essentially, when you take public transportation, not only can you get to neighborhoods a lot quicker, but you're able to see a little bit more. Why I say that is because it brings me to the next great thing. So not just public transportation, but also the walkability. London is an extremely walkable place. So if I were you, walking gets you the ability to see everything, built for people to walk around or to take public transportation. So in walking around, you'll notice that London, you'll be able to see a lot more things. So for example, if you go to the Buckingham Palace area, you'll be able to walk around. You'll also be able to go to the gorgeous park in the neighborhood. You'll look at all of the historic buildings. You'll be able to also keep walking, go to the Thames River. You'll also be able to see the London Eye, things like that you only notice when you walk. Something that I really highly recommend are walking along the Thames River. Walking along the Thames River it's great, it's spectacular, it's amazing. The Thames River is a river that runs throughout England because it's not only in London, so that's why I don't want to say it runs only through London because it doesn't, but it primarily is known because it runs through London. If you just want to go shop, see the Royal Palace, something like that, you're more than welcome to. However, London is a very historic city. So the architecture, the history behind it, a lot of the traditions that you'll end up seeing make the city what it is. So it's definitely worth going. If you're not into old stuff or architecture, then I don't recommend visiting London. If you're one of those people who doesn't like history, get over it. Just get out, see the world, learn something new. If you are a person living in the US, you speak English, I promise you when you go there, even if you don't speak English, but let's just talk about the English speakers for a second. Speaking English, you think, oh my gosh, this is gonna be great. I can speak English. This is the birthplace of English, right? I'll be fine. You will indeed not be fine. The way that they speak English in England is not the same way we speak English here in the US. And I'm not just talking about colloquialisms, slang, or pronunciation, but sentence structure sometimes as well is very different. Okay, so I wanted to give you a little bit of help to ease with how much things cost around traveling in London. How much do you think you're going to spend in a day? How much is transportation going to cost, right? Food, entertainment, all of these types of things. The first thing you have to remember is your transportation. So the way that London transportation is set up are by different zones. So there's zone 1, zone 2, zone 3, zone 4. There's also like the Southwest train. So how you calculate your transportation costs are thinking about where you are staying and where you are going to. I personally recommend staying further away from zone 1 because 1, your hotel will be cheaper, and 2, there's so much to see in London, and it's kind of a different vibe depending on which area you're in. So some areas are very lively, some are very quiet, some are very like rich and hip, some are very like hipster. It really just depends on the vibe you want. So I would really look into what kind of area you want to stay into, but I would make sure it's a little bit outside of the main tourist area just to save yourself a few dollars or pounds, if you will. I also think where you're staying and where you want to go, think of this over the time you'll be there. I think it's best to stay in London 5 days. I think anything longer really depends on you, but I think 5 days is the perfect amount of time to stay in London. You'll get to see most of the city. You'll get to do all of the touristy things if you're looking to do touristy things. If you just kind of want to get out and explore, you'll end up very quickly going through London and then finding your favorite space probably by day 3 or day 4, and then you're able to visit that place that you liked again and then enjoy your final day. So I definitely think 5 days is a solid amount of time in London. I also, once again, want to re-emphasize, where are you staying and where do you want to visit? That depends on how much your transportation cost you will incur. So London is, a very modern place with historic elements and historic integrations. But I would say because they're so modern, you can pay with card for everything. So there's no need to really worry about buying an Oyster card. The Oyster card is the transportation card. How the Oyster card works is you can top it up, as they say. Also, you can essentially reload your card with money as you need. I personally don't recommend getting an Oyster card unless you want to keep it as a souvenir. In London, the Oyster card or paying for transportation can also be done with your phone as a tap payment. So if you have Google Pay, Samsung Pay, Apple Pay, anything Pay, right? You're able to just tap your phone down to pay for your transportation cost. There's no need to get an Oyster card. Once again, I would only get an Oyster card if you're looking to keep it as a souvenir. Otherwise, it's not really necessary for travel today. So, for your hotel, it really depends on you and what your daily life is like. However, I would recommend a hotel that's not necessarily in a residential neighborhood. You want to make sure your hotel is very close to the main street or on the main street. The reason being is because hotels that are in residential neighborhoods means it's further away from the train station. I recommend staying with big hotel chains, especially hotel chains that are known for quality. So Marriott is my personal favorite. I used to work for the Marriott chain. I also just love the way that Marriott takes care of their guests, how they're very consistent across the board. It doesn't matter what country you go to, what time of day you're checking in. The service is always very like consistent, and I know what I'm getting when I go to a Marriott. And also Marriott has a variety of brands depending on your budget, so that also works for me. Sometimes I'll stay at a fancier Marriott hotel chain. Sometimes I'll go for the, quick drive-in, only 20 rooms available type Marriott. It just really depends on my budget, but I appreciate that because no matter if I'm only paying, $70 a night or $250 a night or more, I feel like I'm treated the same and I'm getting the same service. So that's why I personally recommend Marriott, but you can go with whatever hotel chain you're comfortable with. I put some links down below so you can also estimate your fare, so you can calculate your transportation costs. And then once again, obviously hotel depends on the dates that you're going. Uber depends on the time of day, all that stuff. But these are all estimates that you can have to enjoy your travel to London. I'm warning you now. Do not stay in Piccadilly. Don't do it. Don't stay on Oxford Street. Don't stay in Piccadilly Circus. Please do not do that to yourself. I'm warning you, but you do you, boo. Okay, so the cost of food. London is a very interesting place because the cost of food can actually be quite cheap. A lot of people think it's really expensive to eat in London. London is one of the biggest cities in the world in terms of Michelin stars, restaurant choices, restaurant availability, all of that. So it's a great place to find food. British food though, bangers and mash, pub food, it's not good. I'm sorry y'all. British folks, sauce does not save food. You can't slap sauce on it and then you can't, okay? Anywho, aside from that, Indian food is amazing there. You have some really great, Spanish food is really good there. There's really good Chinese spots. Pizza, is also a little bit garbage there. But it's up to you. If you want to try my favorite place, it's kind of like a quick casual dining place, but it's my favorite quick casual dining place in England, Nando's. Nando's has the best food for the price. You get a great amount of food. You can kind of customize a little bit. So Nando's is essentially flame grilled chicken with spices and herbs. And yes, I'm American, so I say herbs and not herbs. I don't want to get in a fight with British people in this video, sorry. But so anyway, it's flame grilled chicken that has spices and herbs. My chicken, I like to get mango lime and then mix it with the hot sauce, like the hot flavor sauce. Delicious. The peri peri sauce, it's a must-have. I don't care what's in that sauce. It's spectacular and I love it. So for you all looking to go to London and you want to try food, Nando's is it. It's quick, casual dining. It's nothing, no frills. You don't have to dress up. You can come in your sweatpants or your hoodie. You can come in, jeans, whatever, right? It's a quick dining place. It's really good. So yeah, I would do Nando's. If you're looking for other types of recommendations, it would depend on the area you want to stay in. Pretty much, if you go to a really big populated area, except for Piccadilly Circus, once again, I'm warning you. Okay. Anywho, I've talked your ear off. I've said a lot. Hopefully, this helps you out in your trip to London. Please feel free to ask me any questions in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.